The morning air was cold and fresh as June Kim hiked up the mountain trail. His dog Diane ran ahead, sniffing the ground and wagging his tail. June smiled. After 6 years in the Special Forces, these quiet hikes helped him feel normal again. "Diane, stay close," he called. The Belgian Malinois looked back, alert but happy. The dog had been his partner through 2 dangerous missions. Now they both enjoyed peaceful civilian life. June touched the dog tags hanging around his neck. He should have turned them in when he left the military, but he kept them as a reminder. Lieutenant June Kim, blood type O, ID number 23,859. The small metal tags meant something to him. They reached a clearing with a view of the valley below. June took a deep breath and reached for his water bottle. That's when the sky changed. The clouds swirled and parted. A dark shape appeared, blocking the sun. June froze, his military training kicking in. This was no normal aircraft. It was too big, too silent, and the wrong shape. "Diane, come," he shouted. The dog raced to his side, hackles raised. A beam of blue light shot down from the ship, touching the ground 20 feet away. June grabbed Diane's collar and backed up toward the trees. "Easy, boy," he whispered. "We need to go. Now." The light expanded suddenly, washing over them. June felt his skin tingle and his stomach turn. Diane barked frantically, pulling against his grip. 3 figures stepped out of the light. They were tall, gray-skinned, with too many joints in their arms. Their faces had no noses, just breathing slits and large black eyes. June's mind raced. This couldn't be happening. This wasn't real. One of the creatures pointed a device at him. June reacted on instinct. He released Diane's collar and shouted the attack command. "Go." Diane leaped forward, a blur of muscle and fur. The creature stumbled back as 80 pounds of military-trained dogs slammed into its chest. "Run, Diane," June yelled, turning to escape into the forest. But his legs wouldn't move. The second creature had hit him with something. A paralyzing field spread up his body. As he fell, June reached for his dog tags. His fingers closed around the metal just as his arm went numb. He saw Diane fighting, taking down a second creature before the third fired a net that wrapped around the dog. "Diane," he shouted. The dog howled, struggling against the strange net. The paralysis reached June's neck. His vision blurred as the creatures approached. The last thing he saw was Diane being dragged in one direction, while cold hands grabbed June and pulled him the other way. Everything went black. June woke to a humming sound. His head pounded. His mouth was dry. He tried to sit up and found he could move again. He was in a small room with smooth walls that glowed faintly. No doors or windows were visible. The floor was cold metal. His hiking clothes had been replaced with a simple gray jumpsuit. June checked his pockets. Empty. He felt his neck. The dog tags were gone too. No. Wait. He felt inside the collar of the jumpsuit. There they were. He'd been clutching them so tightly when he was paralyzed that they must have gone unnoticed when the creatures changed his clothes. "Diane," he whispered. Where was his dog? What were those things? Where was he? A seam appeared in the wall, widening into a doorway. 2 new creatures entered. These were different, shorter, with blue skin and 4 arms each. "Stand, human," one said. The words came out strange but understandable. June stood slowly, keeping his face blank. Years of military training had taught him to hide fear and assess the situation. "You will come with us now," the creature said. "The council wishes to see this new specimen." "Where is my dog?" June asked, his voice steady despite his racing heart. The creatures looked at each other. One made a clicking sound that might have been laughter. "The secondary animal is being processed. Come now." June clenched his fists but stayed calm. He needed information. He needed to understand what was happening before he could plan an escape. He touched the hidden dog tags once more, then followed the blue creatures into a corridor that stretched far beyond what should have been possible on an aircraft. June realized with growing dread that he wasn't just being held captive. He wasn't even on Earth anymore. June followed the blue aliens through endless hallways. Everything was smooth metal and strange glowing lights. They passed other creatures, some with scales, some with too many eyes, some floating instead of walking. None of them looked human. They stopped at a large door that slid open with a soft hiss. The room inside was huge, with a high ceiling that showed stars and swirling galaxies. June wasn't sure if it was a window or a screen. In the center of the room was a round table. 7 different aliens sat there, each one stranger than the last. They were talking loudly, their voices a mix of clicks, hums, and growls. One of them noticed June and raised a hand with 7 fingers. The room went quiet. "Bring the Earth specimen forward," said a tall, thin alien with skin like tree bark. The blue guards pushed June to the center of the room. He stood straight, keeping his face calm even though his heart was racing. "State your designation, Earth creature," said a fat, green alien with 3 eyes. June stayed silent, watching them all carefully. A small silver alien leaned forward. It may not understand complex speech. The translator may be set too high. The tree-like alien nodded. "Human. Name. What are you called?" "Lieutenant Jung Kim," he said clearly. "Republic of Korea Armed Forces. Where is my dog?" The aliens looked at each other. Some made sounds like laughter. "It names itself with sounds and tribal markings," said a creature made mostly of tentacles. "Primitive, but not unusual." "And it asks for its animal," said another. "Many species form attachments to lesser creatures." The tree alien stood up. It was at least 7 feet tall. "I am High Counselor Telk of the Galactic Council. You are far from your world, human. You are here to serve a purpose." June kept his face blank. "What purpose?" "Entertainment," said Telk. "Your species has interested us for some time. You are physically capable despite your lack of advancement. You will fight in the arena for the glory of the council races." "And if I refuse?" June asked. The aliens laughed again, harder this time. "Refuse. You are not being asked, human. You are property, collected from a pre-contact world. Under council law, primitive species may be harvested for various uses." June felt cold anger rising, but kept it hidden. "My world is not primitive. We have cities, technology, governments." Yes, interrupted the 3-eyed alien. "Basic tools, simple machines, tribal divisions. We've studied your kind for centuries. You fight well. That is all that matters here." A new alien spoke. This one had flowing blue hair and 6 arms. "The human seems unusually calm. Most new specimens show fear or rage." "Perhaps it is defective," said the tentacled one. "Or perhaps it is trained," said the blue-haired alien. "Note its posture and control. Similar to the warriors of the Krell system." "Nonsense," said Telk. "Earth has no warrior class. They are still developing basic weapons. The specimens we've taken before showed no such training." June stored this information carefully. They had taken other humans. For how long? And they thought Earth was primitive. "You are wrong about my world," June said calmly. "And you are wrong to take me, or my dog." Telk waved a hand dismissively. "Your protests are noted and irrelevant. You will be taken to the training facilities. The trials begin in 7 cycles. You will represent Earth in the arena." "And my dog?" June asked again. "The animal will be studied," said the silver alien. "Its biology interests our science division. It showed remarkable coordination with you during capture." June nodded slowly. At least Dahan was alive. "Take the human to processing," ordered Telk. "Prepare it for training." As the guards led him out, June touched his hidden dog tags. These aliens thought humans were primitive. That was good. They would underestimate him. And Lieutenant Jung Kim had been trained never to be underestimated. The guards took June to a large room filled with strange equipment. Other aliens moved around, some looking like the ones from the council, others completely different. One approached June with a small device. "Stand still, human," it said, running the device over him. "I am checking for hidden weapons." June tensed as the scanner moved near his collar where the dog tags were hidden. The alien paused, looked at the device, then shrugged and moved on. "Proceed to clothing station," it said. June was given new clothes, a tight black shirt and pants made of a material like rubber, but lighter. Then the guards led him through another door into a large open space filled with various creatures. Some looked almost human. Others were very different, scaled, furred, or with extra limbs. "New fighters, gather here," called a voice in clear speech. June turned and saw a woman. A human woman. She had short black hair and wore the same black outfit as him, but with a yellow band on her arm. She looked Asian, maybe in her 30s. June walked toward her, surprised to see another human. 4 other creatures joined them, forming a small circle. "I am Hannah," the woman said. "I will prepare you for the trials. Follow me." She led them to a quieter corner. When the other creatures weren't listening, she whispered to June in Korean. "You're from Korea too." "I'm from Busan." June was shocked. "Seoul," he answered quietly. "How long have you been here?" 7 years, she said, switching back to the common language. Louder now. They are always listening. She addressed a whole group. "You are all new fighters. You will train for 7 days, then fight in the trials. Win, and you may earn privileges. Lose, and you die." A large furry creature growled. "I will not fight for alien entertainment." Hannah looked sad. "Then you will die now instead of in the arena. The choice is yours." The creature went quiet. "How many fights?" asked a 4-armed alien with green skin. 5 rounds, said Hannah, each harder than the last. Few survived to the end. "Has any human ever survived all 5? June asked. Hannah looked at him. 3 in all the years they've been taking us. I was one of them." She showed them the training area, weights, running tracks, practice weapons. Then she took June aside. "You're military," she said. "I can tell by how you stand." June nodded. "Special forces. You?" "Just a teacher. I learned to fight here." She looked around to make sure no one was listening. "The council thinks humans are weak and primitive. They don't know about our militaries or technology. They take only a few of us, usually hikers or campers from remote areas." "They mentioned other humans," June said. Hannah nodded. "There are 12 of us here now. Most will die in the arena. I've been trying to convince the council that we're an advanced species worthy of diplomatic contact, but they don't listen." "What about escape?" June asked. "Impossible," Hannah said. "We're on a station orbiting a planet called Grelk. Even if you got out of here, where would you go?" June thought of Diane. "They took my dog. A military service dog." Hannah's eyes widened. "That might be useful. The council is interested in Earth animals. They think it's strange that we form bonds with other species." A bell sound rang through the area. "Training begins," Hannah said. "Listen carefully. The aliens will underestimate you because you're human. Use that. Be smarter, not stronger." For the next hours, Jung trained with various weapons. His military experience helped him learn quickly. The other fighters watched him with growing respect. That night, in his small sleeping room, Jung took out his dog tags and looked at them. They were his connection to Earth, to his identity. And somehow, they had gone unnoticed in the scanner. Maybe the aliens' technology wasn't as perfect as they thought. Maybe there were other things they missed about humans. June put the tags back inside his collar. He would find Diane. He would survive the arena. And somehow he would show these aliens that humans were not to be underestimated. The 7 days of training passed quickly. June worked harder than the other fighters, pushing himself to his limits. Hannah watched him closely. "You train differently," she said on the final day. "Not just harder, smarter." June nodded. "In Special Forces, we learned that stronger enemies can be beaten with the right tactics." "You'll need those tactics tomorrow," Hannah said. "The first fight is against a Drac. Big, strong, and mean." June had seen Dracs in the training area. They were 7 feet tall with thick, scaly skin and powerful arms. They looked like dinosaurs walking on 2 legs. "How do they fight?" he asked. "They rush in fast, try to grab you. One squeeze from those arms will break your bones." June thought for a moment. "So they rely on strength and size. Speed might be their weakness." Hannah smiled slightly. "Maybe. No human has beaten a Drac in the first round for 2 years." That night, June couldn't sleep. He thought of Dahan, wondering if his dog was safe. He thought of Earth, so far away. And he thought of tomorrow's fight. Morning came too soon. Guards took June and the other new fighters to a waiting room. They could hear the crowd roaring in the arena. "Welcome to the trials," said a blue-skinned official. "You fight until one cannot continue. Victory means moving to the next round. Defeat means death." The creatures around June looked nervous. Some prayed to their gods. Others sat in silent fear. "Human fighter," the official called. "You are first." June stood and followed the guard to a large metal door. It opened, and bright light flooded in. The noise of thousands of alien spectators hit him like a wave. He stepped into a circular arena about 50 yards across. The floor was covered in blue sand. High walls surrounded it, with seats rising up where countless aliens watched and cheered. At the top, in a special box, sat the 7 council members. They looked tiny from this distance. On the other side of the arena, another door opened. A huge Drac stepped out, raising its arms and roaring. The crowd went wild. "Today in the first round," boomed a voice from above, "we have a Drac warrior versus a human from Earth." The aliens laughed and cheered. June heard bets being placed. No one was betting on him. "Begin," shouted the announcer. The Drac charged immediately, moving faster than June expected. He dove to the side at the last second, rolling in the blue sand. The Drac skidded to a stop, surprise. June got to his feet quickly. The Drac charged again. This time, June waited until the last possible moment before stepping aside like a bullfighter. The crowd gasped as the Drac crashed into the wall. "The human is quick," said the announcer. "But the Drac is powerful." The Drac turned, angry now. It looked at June more carefully, then moved forward slowly. June knew he couldn't keep dodging forever. He needed a plan. He remembered his training. Use your environment. Use your enemy's strength against them. The Drac lunged, arms outstretched. Instead of dodging, June dropped and slid between its legs. As he passed under, he grabbed a handful of the blue sand and threw it into the Drac's eyes when it turned. The creature roared in pain, rubbing its eyes. June didn't hesitate. He ran forward, jumped, and kicked the Drac hard in the throat, its only unarmored spot. The huge alien staggered, gasping for air. June kicked again, aiming for the same place. The Drac fell to its knees. The crowd went silent in shock. A human was winning. With one final kick to the head, June knocked the Drac unconscious. It collapsed face first into the sand. The silence lasted for 3 seconds. Then the arena erupted in confused shouting. "Impossible," cried the announcer. "The human has defeated the Drac." June stood in the center of the arena, breathing hard but standing tall. He looked up at the council box. Even from this distance, he could see they were leaning forward, suddenly interested. Guards came and led him back to the waiting room. The other fighters stared at him in awe. Hannah was waiting, her eyes wide. "How did you do that?" June shrugged. "I found its weakness. Everything has a weakness." He touched his hidden dog tags. 1 fight down. 4 to go. News of June's victory spread quickly. The next day, When he entered the training area, the other fighters moved aside for him. Even the bigger aliens showed respect. Hannah found him lifting weights. "You're famous now," she said. "The human who beat a drac." "Famous means nothing," Jun replied. "When is my next fight?" 3 days. They're changing the schedule to put you in a main event." Jun nodded. "Who is my opponent?" "A Vex hunter. They're fast, with 4 arms and poison claws." Hannah looked worried. "They're harder to beat than a drac." "I'll find a way," Jun said simply. That afternoon, a guard came for him. "Human fighter, come with me." The guard took Jun to a small room where 3 aliens waited. One was Telk, the tree-like council member. "Sit," ordered Telk. Jun sat across from them. The other 2 aliens were new, a female with golden skin and a short, fat alien with 8 eyes. "I am Research Director Sarn," said the golden alien. "This is Bet's Master Cruel. We have questions about your performance." "You beat the drac too easily," said Cruel, the fat one. "No human has done this before." Jun stayed silent. "You fought with training," said Telk. "Where did you learn these skills?" "I told you I was a soldier," Jun replied. The 3 aliens looked at each other. "Earth has organized military forces?" asked Sarn. "Of course," said Jun. "For thousands of years." "Impossible," said Telk. "Our surveys show only tribal conflicts with primitive weapons." Jun almost laughed. "Your surveys are wrong. Earth has advanced armies, navies, and air forces. We have special forces trained for years in combat." Kroll shook his head. "If this is true, our classification of Earth is concerning." "You mentioned a dog," said Sarn. "The animal captured with you. What is its purpose?" "Daihan is a military service dog," Jun said. "Trained to work with soldiers." "Where is he?" "The creature is in our research facility," said Sarn. "It is unusual. It refuses food and attacks anyone who enters its enclosure." Jun felt pride. Daihan was loyal to the end. "He's waiting for me. He won't accept anyone else." The aliens whispered among themselves. Then Telk turned back to Jun. "You will continue in the trials. Your next opponent will test your speed, not just your strength." "And if I win?" Jun asked. "Win 5 matches, and you earn your freedom," said Telk, though his eyes said he was lying. When Jun returned to the training area, Hannah was waiting. What did they want? "Information about Earth," said Jun. "They're confused by my fighting skills." "Good," said Hannah. "Keep them confused. It's working." Some council members are starting to question things. Jun trained harder for the next 3 days. He studied recordings of Vex hunters fighting. They were fast, with sharp claws that could cut through metal. But they tired quickly. On the day of his second fight, the arena was packed. Word had spread about the unusual human fighter. "Today's main event," announced the voice. "The human from Earth versus the Vex hunter." The crowd roared as Jun entered the arena. Across from him, a tall, thin alien with 4 arms and a face like an insect stepped out. Its claws gleamed under the lights. The fight began. The Vex was incredibly fast, slashing at Jun with all 4 arms. Jun dodged backwards, barely avoiding the poison claws. The crowd cheered as a claw ripped his shirt. Jun kept moving, making the Vex chase him around the arena. After 5 minutes, he could see it slowing down. Its breathing became heavier. Now was his chance. Jun charged forward suddenly. The surprised Vex slashed wildly. Jun dropped to the ground, sliding underneath the claws, and kicked the alien's legs out from under it. As the Vex fell, Jun jumped on its back, wrapping his arm around its thin neck. The alien struggled, but Jun held tight until it went limp. The crowd exploded in cheers and confusion. The human had won again. As Jun stood, he felt something cold against his chest. His dog tags had slipped out through the tear in his shirt. The metal caught the light, shining brightly. In the council box, Telk stood up suddenly. pointing. "What is that metal object? Magnify the image." June quickly tucked the tags back inside his shirt, but it was too late. The council had seen them, and now they had questions that could change everything. June was taken from the arena directly to a small white room. No guards stayed with him. He sat alone for over an hour, touching the dog tags hidden under his torn shirt. Finally, the door opened. All 7 council members walked in. They rarely appeared together outside their chamber. June knew this was serious. Telk spoke first. "Show us the metal object from your neck." June considered lying but decided truth might help more. He pulled out his dog tags and held them up. The council members leaned forward, staring at the simple metal tags. "What are these?" asked Telk. "Military identification tags," June said. "Every soldier on Earth wears them." A small bird-like council member took the tags and examined them closely. "These have writing, numbers, and symbols. My name, blood type, ID number, and country," June explained. "This is..." The bird alien paused. "This is standardized information, mass-produced." "Of course," said June. "Every soldier has them." The council members looked at each other in alarm. The blue-haired one spoke next. "How many soldiers does your world have?" June thought for a moment. "Millions, active and reserve forces." "Millions," gasped the tentacled council member. "That's impossible for a pre-contact world." Telk turned to the others. "We need to discuss this privately." They left June alone again. Through the door, he could hear them arguing loudly. Words like mistake and reclassification and diplomatic incident reached his ears. When they returned, the council members looked worried. "Human," said Telk, "these tags suggest your world has industrial capacity, standardized military forces, and organizational systems beyond what we believed." "I told you Earth isn't primitive," June said. The Silver Council member spoke next. "If this is true, taking humans for the arena may violate our own laws about contact with developing civilizations." "We must investigate further," said Telk. "The trials are suspended for you until we can verify this information." As they talked, a guard burst into the room. "Council members, the research division reports an emergency." "What emergency?" demanded Telk. "The Earth animal has escaped containment. It injured 3 researchers and destroyed equipment." June sat up straight. "Daihan," he whispered. Telk turned to him. "Your animal companion is dangerous. He's trained to escape and find his handler if captured," June explained. "He's looking for me." The council seemed shocked by this. A non-sentient creature, trained for such complex tasks. Asked the blue-haired member. "Dogs have worked with humans for thousands of years," said June. "We train them for many jobs, finding people, guarding, hunting." "We must recapture it," said the tentacled member. "You won't," said June confidently. "Not without my help." Telk's face darkened. "You will help us capture this animal." "On one condition," June said. "You let me see him, and you keep us together from now on." The council members looked at each other, then nodded reluctantly. Guards took June to a different part of the station. Alarms were blaring. Researchers ran in panic. Through a window, June saw broken equipment and 3 injured aliens being treated. A security team stood outside a closed door, weapons ready. "The animal is in the storage room," said a guard. "It attacks anyone who enters." June stepped forward. "Let me try." They opened the door slightly. June called softly, "Daihan." "It's me, boy." A low growl came from inside. Then the sound of fast-moving paws. Daihan appeared in the doorway, teeth bared, ready to attack. The moment he saw June, the dog froze. His ears perked up. His tail began to wag slowly. "Come," said June, kneeling down. Daihan rushed forward and pressed against June, whining with joy. June hugged his dog tightly, feeling his warm fur. The council members watched in amazement. The bond between them, whispered the silver alien. It's like nothing we've seen. This changes everything, said Telk. Prepare the communication chamber. We must contact the full council immediately. Jun held Dayan close, feeling hope for the first time. The dog tags had worked. The aliens were finally seeing humans differently, and he wasn't alone anymore. The communication chamber was huge. In the center stood a round platform with glowing lights. The 7 council members took positions around it. Jun watched from the side, Dayan sitting calmly at his feet. We call an emergency session of the full Galactic Council, announced Telk. The platform lit up. Suddenly, holograms appeared. Dozens of aliens of different species. They looked like ghosts made of light. Why is this emergency called? Asked a large hologram with 4 heads. We have discovered a serious classification error, said Telk. Earth may not be a pre-contact world as we believed. The holograms began talking all at once. Telk raised a hand for silence. This human, he pointed to Jun, shows signs of advanced military training. He carries identification markers mass-produced with standardized information systems. Show us, demanded another hologram. Telk held up Jun's dog tags. A beam of light scanned them, and a giant image of the tags appeared in the center of the room. These simple metal pieces suggest Earth has industrial capacity, organized military forces, and standardization systems, said the Silver Council member. One human with metal tags proves nothing, said a skeptical hologram. There is more, said Telk. The animal companion of this human shows complex training beyond what we thought possible for Earth creatures. On cue, Jun touched Dayan's head and whispered a command. Dayan stood at attention, then circled the room, inspecting each council member before returning to Jun's side and sitting in a perfect guard position. The holograms whispered among themselves. If Earth has organized militaries with millions of soldiers, standardized identification, and can train animals for complex tasks, they may qualify as a Class 3 developing civilization, said the blue-haired council member. Taking them for the arena would be a violation of contact law. This is a diplomatic disaster, said a hologram with tentacles waving in agitation. If they are Class 3, we have been kidnapping members of a protected species for entertainment. The chamber erupted in argument. Some holograms wanted to dismiss the evidence. Others looked worried. A very large hologram in the center raised all 4 of its arms. Everyone went quiet. I am High Elder Mox, it said. This matter is serious. If true, we have violated our most sacred laws of contact. What should we do with this human and the others we have taken? Asked Telk. The holograms argued again. Jun listened carefully, trying to understand their politics. Some wanted to hide the mistake. Others wanted to fix it. An angry hologram pointed at Jun. We should eliminate all evidence of our error. The humans we have taken must not return to their world with knowledge of us. No. The shout came from the door. Hannah ran in, followed by guards trying to stop her. You can't kill us to cover your mistake. The guards grabbed her arms. Telk waved them away. Let her speak. Hannah stepped forward. I have been here 7 years. In that time, I have learned your languages and laws. According to Section 12 of the Contact Code, if a species is reclassified, all members must be returned safely to their world. The holograms looked surprised that a human knew their laws. She is correct, admitted High Elder Mox. The law is clear. But if we return them, said a worried hologram, they will tell others about us. Earth is not ready for full contact. So adjust their memories, suggested another. Jun stepped forward. No, we keep our memories, or no deal. The holograms stared at him. You are in no position to make demands, said the angry one. I am, said Jun. You need us to go quietly. If you try to kill us or change our memories, I will fight. My dog will fight. And I promise, many of you will die before we do. The council could see he meant it. They had watched him defeat 2 arena champions with nothing but skill and determination. Perhaps, said High Elder Mock slowly, we should consider formal diplomatic contact with Earth. If they are indeed Class 3, it may be time. This started another heated debate. June moved to stand next to Hannah. What happens now? He whispered. They're divided, she said quietly. The progressives want to admit their mistake and make proper contact with Earth. The traditionalists want to cover it up. Which side is winning? Hannah looked at the arguing holograms. I don't know, but they're taking us seriously for the first time. All because of your dog tags. June touched the metal tags around his neck. A simple piece of military equipment, and it might change Earth's place in the galaxy forever. The council meeting lasted for hours. Finally, High Elder Mox called for a vote. We will decide this matter in 3 days, he announced. Until then, all humans will be held in the special quarters section. The holograms disappeared. The council members looked tired. Take them to the guest quarters, Telk ordered the guards. June and Hannah were led to a new area of the station. The rooms were nicer, with soft beds and clean walls, but the doors still locked from the outside. They're treating us better, but we're still prisoners, said Hannah. June nodded, looking around the room. Where are the other humans? In rooms nearby. We'll meet them tomorrow. That night, June couldn't sleep. He sat on the floor with Dayan, petting the dog's fur. We need a backup plan, he whispered. I don't trust the council to do the right thing. In the morning, guards took June and Hannah to a large meeting room. 10 other humans waited there, 7 men and 3 women. They looked at June with hope in their eyes. Word had spread about the Korean soldier who had changed everything. This is June and his dog Dayan, Hannah said. His military dog tags have forced the council to reconsider Earth's status. A tall man stepped forward. I'm David from Canada. Been here 5 years. Is it true? They might send us home. Maybe, said June. But I don't want to wait for their vote. We need an escape plan. The room went quiet. Then a woman spoke up. I'm Maria from Brazil. I work in the ship maintenance area. They think I don't understand their technology, but I've been watching for 3 years. Do you know how to fly their ships? Asked June. Maria nodded. The small ones, yes. The controls are not complicated. June smiled. Good. We need to get to a ship. But first, we need to create a distraction. They spent the day making plans. Each human had learned different things about the station during their time there. Together, they knew enough to have a chance. That night, a new guard came to June's room. This one was blue-skinned with 6 eyes. Human, it said softly, I am Sub-Commander Ziv. I wish to speak with you privately. June tensed, ready to fight if needed. Dahan growled softly. I am part of the Progressive Coalition in the Council, said Ziv. We believe the treatment of humans has been wrong. But the traditionalists are powerful. They may win the vote. Why are you telling me this? June asked. Because some are planning to eliminate you all before the vote happens. To erase the evidence. June's hand went to his dog tags. When? Tomorrow night. I can help you escape before then. Why would you help us? Ziv's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. Because this injustice shames our entire council. My faction wants proper diplomatic contact with Earth. June thought for a moment. We already have an escape plan, but we need access to the docking bay and a small ship. I can provide that, said Ziv. But you must promise something in return. What? When you return to Earth, tell your leaders that not all of us agreed with your treatment. Some of us want peaceful contact. June nodded. I promise. The next morning, June gathered the humans. Change of plans. We move tonight, not tomorrow. A guard named Ziv will help us. Can we trust this alien? Asked David. We have no choice, said June. The traditionalists plan to kill us tomorrow. They spent the day preparing. Maria studied ship diagrams Ziv provided. Others gathered food and supplies. June trained Diane for the mission ahead. That evening, Ziv came with keycards. The guards will change in 30 minutes. That's your window to reach the docking bay. June looked at the other humans. They were scared but determined. Stay together, he said. Follow my lead. If we get separated, continue to the docking bay. He knelt down and touched Diane's head. You ready, boy? The dog licked his hand and stood at attention. June touched his dog tags one last time. The simple pieces of metal had done more than identify him. They had revealed the truth about humans to the galaxy. And now, they would help him lead his people home. The hallways were quiet as 12 humans, and one dog moved silently through the station. Ziv led them through service corridors where few guards patrolled. The docking bay is 2 levels down, whispered Ziv. We must hurry. They reached an elevator. Ziv used his keycard, and the doors opened. As they crowded inside, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. They've discovered you're missing, said Ziv, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly. We must run now. When the elevator doors opened, 4 guards were waiting. June didn't hesitate. He signaled Dahan with a hand motion, and the dog leaped forward, taking down the first guard. June tackled the second. David and 2 other men handled the others. This way, called Ziv, running down a wide corridor. They could hear shouts behind them. More guards were coming. The humans ran faster, following Ziv through a maze of hallways. Finally, they reached a massive door. The docking bay is through here, said Ziv. As he swiped his card, the door began to open. But it stopped halfway. A voice came over the speakers. Sub-Commander Ziv, you are committing treason. Surrender the humans immediately. It was Telk's voice. Ziv looked at June with all 6 eyes full of worry. Go, said Ziv. I will hold them off. June nodded. Thank you. I'll keep my promise. The humans squeezed through the half-open door into a huge bay filled with ships of different sizes. Maria pointed to a small one near the exit doors. That one. It's a scout ship with a simple navigation system. They ran toward it. Behind them, they heard shouting as guards confronted Ziv. Suddenly, a different alarm sounded. Red lights flashed all around the bay. What's happening? Asked Hannah. A new voice boomed over the speakers. Attention all units. The High Council has reached an emergency decision. Earth is officially classified as a Class 3 developing civilization with potential for Class 2 status. All human specimens must be returned unharmed. This is a direct order from High Elder Mox. The humans stopped running. Guards entered the bay but didn't raise their weapons. Telk walked in, followed by the other council members. They looked angry but controlled. Humans, said Telk, your escape is unnecessary. The vote has been moved up and completed. You are to be returned to Earth immediately. June stepped forward, Dahan at his side. Why should we believe you? Because, at a new voice, I have guaranteed your safe return. High Elder Mox walked into the bay. In person, he was enormous. At least 10 feet tall with gleaming golden skin and 4 arms. Your dog tags, said Mox, revealed what our surveys missed. Earth has organized global systems, standardized military forces, and complex relationships with other species. These qualities meet our criteria for Class 3 status. What does that mean for us? Asked June. It means, said Mox, that your people must be formally contacted by the Galactic Council. No more secret abductions, no more arena fights. Proper diplomatic relations. Hannah stepped forward. After what you've done to us, why would Earth want relations with you? Mox nodded sadly. A fair question. Our error was serious. As a gesture of goodwill, we offer technology and knowledge to your world. June touched his dog tags. And what about Ziv? He helped us. Sub-Commander Ziv will face no charges, said Mox. His actions, while against protocol, were morally correct. Later that day, the humans gathered in a large ship designed for diplomatic missions. Telk explained it would take them directly to Earth, landing in a remote area where they could contact their governments. As they prepared to leave, Jum stood at a window, looking out at the stars. Hannah joined him. "Hard to believe," she said. "After 7 years, I'm going home because of your dog tags." Jum smiled. "Not just the tags. Your knowledge of their laws helped too." The ship's engines hummed to life. Dahan pressed against Jum's leg, sensing his excitement. "Earth isn't ready for this," said Hannah. "Meeting aliens, learning we're not alone." "We'll help them understand," said Jum, his hand touching the dog tags that had changed everything. "That's our new mission." As the ship pulled away from the station, Jum thought about how one small piece of metal had forced an entire galactic civilization to see humans differently. The lieutenant and his dog were going home, but Earth would never be the same again.